Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome in to WTIM, your information station. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thanks so much to the sponsors that make it all possible, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. We got a full studio today of some Edinburgh middle schoolers. We're going to be talking about some science fair topics today. From left to right, we have Lakin, Joyanne, Harper, Callie, and Maddie. Thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thank you.
No response?
Thank you.
You guys can talk. This is a conversation we're having now. We're into it. Let's get right into it because you guys have been all involved in these science fairs. You guys have just recently had this regional science fair. So what do we need to know, first things first, about the science fair you guys were just at? Who's going first? Go ahead.
For the regional science fair, we brought our display boards and we presented to the judges, and then we sat there for a while, but then we sat down, and then they announced the special awards and what place we got.
Awesome. Okay, and what place did we get?
We were 2 points away from getting a special award.
Okay, awesome. So these are all separate. These are all separate
Yes.
prizes right there. That is really cool. How'd the rest of us do?
I got second.
I think all of us got second place.
Love it. Okay. So you guys are talking about your display boards now, your actual projects. We're going to go down the line here. I want to learn about each of your projects. We're going to start with Lakin and Joyanne because you guys kind of had a joint project over there.
Yeah.
What did you guys focus on?
We kind of focused on water filtration and health science.
Okay.
So what we did was we built a water filtration system out of a plastic water bottle.
Okay.
And we filled it with a couple of materials like
Cotton, small rocks, large rocks, charcoal, and sand.
Okay.
And we built this display board with all of our information on it. We had our graphs saying how much water we had before the filter that we could put through the filter before the filter would become dirty and stuff.
Yeah.
So we had to stop filtering water. We figured out that the water was not perfectly clear. We had to heat it up and boil it before it was going to be drinkable. So.
Okay. So you pretty much got it down to a pretty pure level, it's sounding like, though. You still had to boil it at the end. Was that your guys' plan going into it? Did you guys think you were going to have perfectly pure water coming out of your project?
No, not really, because it was our first time making the project, so we knew that we weren't going to get it spot on the first time. So it took us, I'm pretty sure it was our last try before the water got pretty crystal clear.
Wow. Really cool there. Okay, awesome, guys. And what were some of the biggest things you learned? What were some things you took away from that experience?
We figured out that you do not want to switch the small gravel pieces in the charcoal because it makes the water black.
Oh, gosh. Okay, we can't have that. That's a big finding. Lakin?
We also figured out that if we add too much of one thing, so it was our second project, we added too much sand. So the sand kind of leaked through the cotton, so we weren't able to get clean water because sand would leak through the water. Wow.
Well, you guys learned a whole lot in that project right there. That is really awesome. You guys said you were really close to winning that specialty award right there. Is that true?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. That was really cool. That we were talking right there with Lakin and Joyanne with a joint project. They're focusing all about water filtration. How cool is that? Moving on to our next project here with Harper. Harper, what did you work on?
For my project, I did heat-sensitive slime.
Heat-sensitive slime?
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, you got to explain this to us. So what did you do, and where'd you get this slime?
Well, we actually made it. We bought all the ingredients. We made it, and then we had this special pigment that we put in it, and then we had two different slimes. So then we tested to see which one worked better.
Okay, and you were testing the heat. So which one could withstand the heat? Which
one reacted more?
Which one reacted more? What was the reaction?
Well, they changed different colors.
Oh.
But yeah.
Slime, and it changed colors. What did it start with, and what did it finish with?
Well, one of them started with dark blue, one of them started with light blue, and one of them ended up turning yellow when it was hot, and one of them turned green.
Very interesting there. So what did you try to set out and learn in this process?
We tried to see which slime work better.
Sure.
And because we did use different amounts of ingredients in the two, and then we realized that like it changed how it reacts.
Very cool. Very, very cool right there. That was Harper speaking on her project involving slime and the heat reaction to slime. That was really awesome there. We're going to move on to our next project here in Cali. Cali, I'm saying that right, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. What did you work on?
So our project is about a homopolar motor, which is basically copper wire or silver wire around a AA battery in molecular magnets. And the magnets are super strong. If you do not have a license to sell them, then you'll be in a lot of trouble.
Wow. Okay.
So they're strong.
Yeah, they are. And it sounds very a very serious project right here. And you used a lot of big words right there. So what did you set out to find in your project?
Well, I was just trying to figure out if it actually would spin around.
Sure.
Because we didn't know if it'd actually work because we saw things and it said it was fake. But I think it didn't work because of the gauge they used. Because at first we started off with a really thin piece of copper wire, and it would not spin around because of how thin it was. And it was one of our last trials, and we twisted it, and we twisted it on the button of the battery, which is the little indent of the top of the battery, and it finally spun around, and that was like really cool.
My gosh, talk to me a little bit about that breakthrough. You had a little scientific breakthrough right there. That motivates you to want to do more science?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really cool. And a little trial and error right there.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. That's really cool.
We did have some that would like vibrate, and it was making a really weird noise, and like it didn't spin, but it was like on the verge of spinning. It was really close, but it just wouldn't go.
Very cool. What would you say you learned from this whole experience?
We learned about magnetic field and a little bit about physics.
Absolutely.
The man who invented it was Michael Faraday, I think.
Sure. Sounds right. Yeah.
And he was an English science professor. So
Very
that
cool.
was cool.
I mean, you even got a history lesson in there. That is very, very cool. And last but not least, we have Maddie. Maddie, what'd you work on?
I did how plants listen to music.
Plants listen to music. That is so cool. How did you do that?
So we did trials with plants listening to classical, rock, pop, and no music.
Okay.
We thought that the classical music would make it grow fastest, which we were right. Rock music would make it go slowest, which we were wrong. It was actually one of the top music because rock and classical are actually very similar. And they're like beat and stuff. And the pop music, it grew double. It didn't like grow tall like the classical and rock music, but it grew quicker than no music. Then the ones that weren't listening to music, they grew at like regular pace, and it was only 1 inch in total that they grew in the 30-minute period. And then pop music grew 2 inches, and then rock and classical music actually made 3 inches by the end of the 30-minute periods.
Kind of blowing my mind with this right now. I had no idea that plants could be benefiting to grow from listening to music. How did you learn about this, that this was happening?
So I was looking up projects to do, and then I saw this one, and it was really cool because like the plants feel the sound waves of the music, and it like helps them grow because they like feel the sound waves. That's like if how people say if you talk to your plants they grow quicker. That's the same like method of using the sound waves to help them grow better.
Very, very cool right there. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen those videos of plants making sounds. Have you guys ever heard of that? Maybe Maddie, you've seen that in your experience with working in all this. But that is very cool. We learned about all of the projects here with Edinburgh Middle School and their science fair that just recently happened. We have educator and sponsor Peggy Brown right here with us. I mean, what does it mean to you to see your students interact like this and for them to learn quite a bit?
Oh, I'm very proud of each and every one of them. These are sixth graders. And typically sixth graders can go to regionals like the Region 10, but they're not allowed to participate in the state.
Sure.
But it gives them the opportunity to start learning about the process of science, and we do interdisciplinary learning strategies at the school. So this is very beneficial for them.
Absolutely. It absolutely has to be. Guys, it's time for us to take a short time out. It's been super fun learning about your projects. We're going to learn more about these sixth grade. You said sixth grade, correct? Sixth graders right here? Awesome.
Yeah.
The sixth graders of Edinburgh Middle School and their science fair. We're going to learn a little bit more about their projects and more upcoming events for them. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Your information station, WTIM.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn and beans steady. Wheat trading higher at this hour. May corn 427 3/4, up 1 1/4. July corn up 3/4, 441 3/4. December new crop 468 1/4, up 1/4. May beans 1172 3/4, down 1 1/4. July beans down 1 1/2, 1186 1/4. And November new crop 1177 3/4, up 3/4. May Chicago wheat up 7, 552 1/4. July wheat up 6 1/2, 568 1/4. May bean meal 325.50, down 280. May bean oil 48.98. That's up 38 cents. Livestock market at this hour. April live cattle 180.32, down $1.45. April feeders 241.72. That's down $1.77. April lean hogs 88.02, up $1.47. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
This is Bill Wise with the latest Appetite for Pork report. Today I'm talking with Dr. David Newman, Senior Vice President of Market Growth at National Pork Board, about how your pork checkoff dollars are working to bring more U.S. pork to tables around the world. Dr. Newman, pork producers are bracing for another down year. What has the pork checkoff been doing to help stabilize, even grow demand?
We export about 30% of our total production in the United States. And that number has grown for a very long time. But that still means we have 70% of our production domestic. This focus on stabilizing domestic demand, that's really important to us. So speaking internationally, we partner with U.S. Meat Export Federation in our international efforts. And that's a really great example of something that we do to drive demand around the world.
Thanks again, David, for talking with us today about how the pork checkoff is building a bigger appetite for U.S. pork. You can find out more information at porkcheckoff.org/radio.
Now you can buy Blue Ribbon farmer-owned Prairie Farms products in convenient grab-and-go containers. Get your favorite Prairie Farms whole milk, skim milk, premium and low-fat flavors, chocolate and strawberry milk. Yummy! Plus 100% pure Florida orange juice and a handy, easy-to-carry grab-and-go container. Get the protein you need every day with these products from farmer-owned Prairie Farms Dairy. Easy, convenient, and in your supermarket or convenience store.
Just Beds are the yawn exterminators, and they can give you a better night's sleep. Choose from Bemco, Chatham & Wells, Sealy, Simmons, and Tempur-Pedic. Find out the many models and styles available on their updated website by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Dr. Bill Byers of Byers Chiropractic, serving the Central Illinois area for 39 years. 2 doctors, 5.5 days a week, multiple techniques to get you pain-free and living your life. Find out more by clicking my banner icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. We are ready to help you.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to WTIM, your information station. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thanks so much to the sponsors that make episodes like these possible. People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. The 6th graders from Edinburgh Middle School and the Science Fair, the very interested Science Fair ones, are in the studio with us. Lakin, Joanne, Harper, Callie, and Maddie from left to right there. We also have educator and sponsor Peggy Brown. We were talking all about this regional science fair that you guys all competed in. We learned about all the great projects. I even got to learn a few things right there, so that was really fun. Let's talk a little bit about the district science fair that happened before the regional. Is that correct, Harper?
Yes.
Awesome. So what made it important to go to that one?
I think what made it really important is seeing all the kids, and they thought it was really interesting. I think they liked seeing our project and seeing what they were about maybe. And yeah.
Would you guys say that going to that district would probably give you a little bit more motivation to do the next science fair?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It did really help with communication too, because it made it less stressful.
Absolutely.
And when we presented there, it actually helped me a little bit, to be less nervous, because when I already knew the people, it was better to present.
And it was nice because the little kids, they were asking questions that prepared us for the regionals, because they were asking questions that like would be harder because they understood less. So they were asking questions that if we could answer those, we could for sure answer questions at regionals.
100%. I mean, an adult has some background information to present a question to you, maybe a little bit easier, but it's probably interesting fielding questions from kids that are younger than you guys. And what better way to learn than answering people's questions? That's a really, really interesting, interesting thing to bring up right there. And that was Maddie speaking. We were talking about the district science fair. There's going to be anything else to mention on the district science fair, and anything else like it?
No, not really. Other than it just kind of helped us with our communication skills. It helped us out with, as Maddie said, as she touched up on how the little kids asked a lot more, like kind of difficult questions because they didn't understand it as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It helped us a lot because they really gave us they helped us practice to warm up for regionals. And we did a lot. I think almost all of us did a lot better in regionals than we did in the district because we were a lot less nervous because we knew, oh yeah, they're probably going to ask a question about this or a question about that.
Absolutely.
So it was a lot easier to just get the questions out and get the answers out. So I think that really prepared us for the regionals.
Absolutely.
So.
Did you guys have an easier time fielding the regional questions? And do you guys remember having to answer some stuff? Yeah.
I really think that I was quite more prepared, for the regional questions and everything that kind of went on there. Things like after the district science fair, I felt like it was a lot easier to present. I wasn't as nervous as I was because I was nervous and I was shaking so much that at the district science fair, and I wasn't as nervous there.
And some questions at the regionals were a little bit more confusing because they had more into depth questions because they were judges, so they already knew a lot about our project. So they try to think outside the box and ask us questions that we probably wouldn't know. So that way they would try to help us touch up on it.
Absolutely. They got to know if you guys know what's going on there. Absolutely. They know what questions to ask there. That is really awesome. Let's work in another upcoming one. We're going to find out.
Yes.
The state science fair. Let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about that one.
So the state science fair is at I'm pretty sure it's May 4th. And so it's we can't go. Sixth graders are not allowed to go because we're only in sixth grade. But as soon as you get into 7th and 8th grade, you'll get judged. Can't you win scholarships and stuff there?
Wow.
You can win scholarships. I'm pretty sure Miss Brown said there was somebody who went to, what was it, Switzerland?
They did. They had some that have gone to Switzerland. This year, nationals will be in Los Angeles, California.
And sixth graders can go and be runners for the judges, but they can't participate. So we could go if we would like to, and we could be runners and we could be there all day with the judges if we wanted to.
Awesome.
But I don't really think of any sixth grader would want to go because you're running a 6 flight of stairs for 4 hours. So. Because you have to run up and down the stairs, telling the judges up there and telling the judges down there what they think.
It's an important job. It's very important for someone out there if you guys still want to get involved. The sixth graders can, but you guys got to wait till your 7th and 8th grade years. But you guys seem like you're right on the right path. We're in our last minute. Final word here from Callie.
Whenever we were presenting to the judges, they were asking us questions, and they gave us some advice for next year and the years to come. For advice to going to regionals and presenting.
Awesome. It seems like you guys are on the absolutely right path. Do we all have a science focus in mind, maybe for the future? Would you guys want to stay around sciences?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I love to hear that. Guys, we're out of time, but I really appreciate all of you for being here with me today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That was from left to right. It was Lakin, Joyanne, Harper, Callie, and Maddie, and educator and sponsor Peggy Brown. It was a really fun episode today. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you all for listening.
Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241.